Man, that's perfect. Well, it seems like it's been a while since I've seen you. I guess the last break on through, we were at Kingdom Corner performing with Clayton and Wensil. Is that right? I haven't done one since, right? Well, let me see if I can get a quick hello to everyone that has shown up immediately. Brian Dunlap, Adam Wolf, a.k.a. Dina Soggs, Alan, Wesley, John Ross. Hey, fellas, how are y'all? I'm not going to wait for more to show up before I get started because, you know, when you're as inconsistent as I am these days with going on, you got to build that audience back up. But I feel that I have hit a treasure trove of material to discuss on Break On Through because I finally got someone to start sending me questions. Because man, you know what I've said a couple times on Break On Through. Man, you got to tell me something. And when I say tell, I mean ask. And you give me the questions, and I'll talk about those questions all day long. I'm never gonna answer any more. What was Gigi like? I'm not answering none of that stuff anymore. But if you write me, I prefer you write to me personally on my personal Facebook page because I don't check the Antiseen one as often as I should. But Malcolm and Walt do. So, oh, there's Clinton. There's Kyle already talking about seeing us down around Atlanta town. Atlanta has become kind of our home away from home. Funny, it only took, 30-something years for that to happen. But can I go ahead and get something out of the way? Can I just go ahead and get something, just say it, so it'll stop getting hung right here? Is that okay? Can I tell them about it? Can I count it off? I 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you are in this country and you stand with Iran, I'm thinking you should probably stand in Iran. That's just my 2 cents worth. There's Mondo. Chad Cochran's here. Brad. Man, y'all are all coming on in the house now. Good deal. Good deal. Good evening, everybody. Man, I got a lot to tell y'all. And I'm going to go ahead and start with the big news right off from the get-go. And then we're going to just go into some explanations and stuff. But next week, we're going to have 2 break-on-throughs in a row. But next week is a Break On Through Presents. And it will be what is left of the Eat More Possum lineup. That's Thomas O'Keefe, my brother Greg Clayton, and myself, along with Walt Wheat, doing a live video. It won't be live, but it was recorded live, but it will be a live performance of Eat More Possum in its entirety. This was recorded 2 years ago. That's how long we've been working on this Eat More Possum. Not like every day for 2 years, but things happen, and then things get stalled, and then things kind of go at a complete standstill for a couple months. Then they get picked back up. But man, it's done. I will have Eat More Possum in my hands Thursday of this week. But now I'm giving you that information. You can do with it what you want. But it will officially, and I say officially go on sale next Monday night at 7 p.m. Man, the Big Cartel will be live. You can go ahead and get it, hit it, and don't forget it, because it's going to be a good thing. Wait till you see this recording, man. Barry was in charge of the editing, and he had, look at that. It had a lot to do with the mixing. A lot of it, as far as the editing of the video, he was doing it live on the spot as it was happening. See, when you're in the band, you kind of know, which camera to hit at what time. So I think you guys and gals are going to be really surprised at how good this has turned out. And at the same time, you could be ordering one or more of the variants of Eat More Possum. The new remastered Jeff Dawes instructions followed to the T. And anyone that has heard it has gone like, wow, that's the way it should have sounded all along. And it is the way it should have sounded all along. And I am so happy that it's finally out. It's for you guys are going to like the new packaging. You're going to like all the stuff that comes with it. And I can't wait to hear your reviews. But we're only a week away. Been looking forward for this for 2 years. But I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna keep going with news. Oh, let me make a little announcement. There is a record show going on in Gastonia, North Carolina, this weekend, this Saturday. Malcolm Tent will have a table set up there along with Malcolm Tent. Wait a minute. That's not this Saturday. That was last Saturday. Y'all, I'm tired. Working class. Oh, boy. I'm tired. But I have made an executive decision, and my bandmates haven't even heard this yet. So Walt, Malcolm, Barry, Mondo, if you're listening, I said the first half of 2026 would be Eat More Possum in its entirety. I think it's going to go pretty much most of 2026, because we are having a hard time getting the grouping that we want with the routing that we want in the time that we want. So I'm spreading that threat all the way out until the new year. Now, of course, if we play a town or an area twice close together, of course, we're going to mix it up. But you're going to be able to catch Eat More Possum in its entirety. Now, I'm going to explain to you how that set's going to go. Now, we're going to come out like we normally do. A big intro from Mondo. We're going to play some of your favorite new tunes. We're going to play some of the old favorites. And then we're going to have a little stopping point. We will introduce ourselves doing Eat More Possum. And we will play it nonstop until in its entirety. And then we'll come back on at the end of the program and do you a couple more if you feel so inclined to holler us back onto the stage. And when I say, you got to make it worth the time. You got to be able to see, envision us coming back out to give you a couple more. Brother, you have got to have vision. So, man, you guys really soaked up the old Vinyl overruns this week. Man, the Are You Sure Hank Done It This Way is gone. No more to be found around this town. But we still got a few more of the Sweet Blood Call. Look at how nice those turned out, man. Isn't that good? Nice J or L fold cover. Some nice blue vinyl. Each copy autographed. And whenever I send them to you, they come with an Antiseen sticker. These are still available. I don't have an accurate count, but it's, I don't know, a couple days, a couple more pushes, and it'll be gone. Clinton Zilla says Mondo as Jack Star. No, Clinton, we're going to be using the actual samples from Eat More Possum live. And speaking of those samples, I'll be talking about that here in a minute. But I know that typically during this time, you know, we're right here at the beginning of March. Lots of stuff going on in the world, but I think I know what the main topic around the dinner table is most evenings. Now, there's some stuff that kind of takes you off into a different path during your dinner conversations, like the war in Iran, which, by the way, I want to say right now, whether you are for or against, what you need to do is put in a word with the man upstairs for our servicemen and servicewomen that are putting their lives at risk. And we also need to put in a good word for the people of Iran that are getting freed from this mess. Let's pray for a smooth transition into a better life for those folks. But man, I know that at most dinner tables in America today, somebody goes, when are we going to get to see Antiseen live again? You got to tell me something. Well, that's what I'm getting ready to do. I'm getting ready to tell you something. And man, all I got to say now is you need to get your pen and your pad out and write this down, because this is going to be some good stuff right here. All right, you ready? March 19th. It's a Thursday night. Thursday is the new Friday. We will be at the Star Bar in Atlanta, Georgia. Has become one of our favorite places to play. When we go down to Atlanta town, lots of old friends come out. We make lots of new ones, and you never know who's going to show up at an Atlanta Antiseen show. But y'all know over the past two, we've had some pretty incredible special guests now. You know that. What could happen this time? Antiseen, Atlanta show, Antiseen. Anything can happen, and it usually does. So, keep that in mind. Now, the next night, Friday, March 20th. Friday's still the same Friday, the old Friday. We will be at JJ's Bohemian in Chattanooga, Tennessee, with special guest Sweet G.A. Brown. That's Georgia. Sweet Georgia Brown will be there with us live. We got another guest too, but I don't have those names in front of me. But by the time it's time to get all this advertised, I'll have that together. Can you dig it? Saturday night. You know what they say about Saturday night? Saturday, night. and it's all right for fighting. It's also all right to go see Antiseen. And you can on Saturday, March 21st at the Copper Top Dive and Dine. Copper Top Dive and Dine in Huntsville, Alabama. Oh yeah, Antiseen is coming back to Alabama. Man, I want to see everybody. But I live in Topeka, Kansas. I want to see you there. We got you 3 nights lined up that you can make it. Airplanes still fly the skies. The interstates are open. Greyhound buses still run. You can get there. Man, it'd be easy if you came and played my front porch. Yeah, we're gonna take a trailer and a big old truck. 5 smelly guys, and we're gonna drag it all the way across town just so we can play at your porch, so you don't have to go nowhere. Now you got to do. You know what you got to do? You got to do something. You're sitting there going, "Dad, we can." And what do you think? What do you think we can? Everybody, you need to come here. No. You know where we are. You need to come here. Because Antiseen is going to be in town getting down. And you're going to be outside wearing a frown, man. You need to come on and get your ticket and get inside. So there it is, March. And man, we got something coming up in April. In April, word on the street is that we will return to Tribbles in Piedmont, South Carolina. And when I say, man, we've only played there once, but it quickly became one of our favorite places to play. We're going to be there again. I'll have the date for you soon. Got a few things we have to work out. We got shows coming up in May. And man, we're even talking about our little runs in the summer. Now, you know, we don't like to do summertime runs because Walt Wheat's got some briars to cut down. But he told me, hey, man, he goes, I can turn a donkey loose on them briars if you need me to come up and deliver the rock to the people. Walt Wheat's main concern is the people. Walt just exposed a detail that in Huntsville we will be playing with the Chodes and the Casket Kids. Now I'm telling y'all, right now all this shows, when a good cultural event comes to town, you don't just go to one night, man. Like when you go to a tent revival, like I do. You don't just go to one night, you go to 3 or 4 nights. We're bringing our tent revival to Georgia, Tennessee, and Alabama. That's 3 nights, 3 shots that you can be there. And I want to see you there. You have to do something. Have any of you ever heard of the band simply known as F? And just in case y'all can't understand my thick, mush mouth North Carolina public school dialect, that's what I'm saying right there. Y'all ever heard of that band? I know y'all are going, yeah, I think I heard of them. I tell you what, I used to see the records everywhere when we first started. This band's been around longer than us, I think. Well, when I'm going to say these words, I'm going to link all these words together, and you can fill in the pieces until I provide concrete details. But the band from the 80s, F, Florida. everybody's favorite song and dance troupe, Antiseen. 2026. Now you take that any way you want it. You take it anywhere you want it. Do with what you will. But I have laid it down. And you can take it to town. Man, I'm so excited about getting POSSUM Thursday. I mean, me and little Coleman are gonna get in here tomorrow, clear out the warehouse. We got some work to do. He's been busy playing cardboard drums and tearing them up, and I've been busy packing mail and making messes. Man, it looks like downtown Beirut in here, but you know, we're gonna get it fixed up. We're gonna make room for the POSSUM. Man, that sounds like it could have been a great sitcom. Make room for the POSSUM. Wouldn't it have been great if one episode, like we have the doorbell ring and it's George Jones. Well, since it's POSSUM time here in the big city, my source of fantastic questions laid one on me that was very, very very appropriate since it's POSSUM time. He's asking about the special guest that we had all over POSSUM. There's two here I need to mention. Well, one of the guests we had, he's here with us tonight, Adam Wolf, otherwise known as KD, the Dean of Sods. Now, you may think his role was relatively small on there, but the one sentence has rung across decades. Do y'all know what that line was? Just another prime example of another white trash son of a bitch. Now, if that is not solid gold, I don't know what to tell you is solid gold. What about the late, great Jackie B? Y'all remember that? He was framed. Well, the reason I mention these two so close together is because they are basically from one source, and that is the Dean of Sods himself. You see, we met a long time ago. You know, Kelly Dean, Adam Wolf, is the younger brother to Scott Savage, which we will be mentioning him in a little bit here also. And of course, I met him through Scott, and man, we hit it off immediately. Joint at the hip immediately. Used to hang out all the time when he lived in Charlotte. You know, and there's times when, you know, there's long gaps and stuff, but we always got it right back together. And anyway, man, I never got to meet Jackie B in person, because Jackie B wasn't leaving Cliffside. The only time I ever knew he left Cliffside was to go see the Ramones in Atlanta. Oh, he did go to Charlotte to see the Ramones and the Runaways. So he left that. He left Cliffside twice, but it was through KD that I learned about the whole recording everything. Like, and see, this could go into another whole wormhole into the Antiseen world of way of doing things. But actually, we were doing it beforehand. But I think it was because of his influence. I would record people talking up at the Joy Bookstore, See, Scott Savage was around when we recorded Drastic. From the beginning. Oh, man, look at that. Working class. Man, that's how you work. That's how you can tell somebody's got to get up in the morning and do something. But Kelly and Jackie B and Scott Savage, they recorded everything. They would put on skits. They just record conversations. And you wouldn't think so, but man, within all that, there is always some gold. And now, KD, can you tell them, did you record that line? Just another prime example of another white trash. Did you record that specifically for Emo Possum, or did you present that to me and I found a place for it? Maybe you can answer that question. And you may be watching this on YouTube. As soon as he responds to me, I will tell you what he said to that question. Another highlight of the album was the interludes that we had featuring Jack Starr. Jack Starr, also known as Jack Muncie, from Dallas, Texas. All right, Katie says he presented that to me. It was made especially for Emo Possum. Anyway, back to Jack Starr. We did our first up and down the East Coast tour, I guess, in 88. Pushing Blood of Freaks. And we started in Charlotte, of course, and we went all the way up to New York. But we had a show on the... No, we went further than that. We went up toward Boston. So we played... it was considered our Boston show, I guess. I don't know. Maybe not. But we played the Green Street Station in one of the towns outside of Boston. And we were happy because we knew who they were. We knew we were going to be playing with the A-Bones. Does anyone know the A-Bones? Billy Miller, Miriam Lena. Great band. And we were actually looking forward to it. But then we found out they were going to be bringing a fella named Jack Starr. We had never heard of him at this point. But we made it our business to hear of him quickly. We wanted to see what we were up against, you see. Oh, now Katie, now Katie just shot me in the foot. Thanks, Katie. He says, no, he probably recorded that piece 2 years prior. So, glad you got that straightened out there, Hoss. But when I say we researched stuff, we couldn't just go online and say, look up Jack Starr. No, we had to go buy the records. Norton, which was the label that Billy and Miriam from the A-Bones were doing, and Miriam still does to this day. Norton Records. They had put out the album Born Petrified. And we got a hold of that somehow. And man, we were blown away. We could not wait to meet Jack Starr. And man, just like when I met the Dina Sods, KD, when we met Jack Starr, man, with me and Joe especially, it was instant best friends. To the point, that we called each other on the holidays. We eventually started to work together. And Jack had a side business where he did perfume, and he made his own perfumes. And he had one called Antiseen Splash after he met us. And I've still got my bottle right up there. That's one of the things that I think I will hang on to forever. And And we asked him to do some things for Eat More Possum, and I don't think we gave him any guidance at all, man. He was just a natural when it came to that kind of stuff. But he told us that he wrote Destroy Them All for us. I've still got the mail somewhere where he wrote Destroy Them All for Antiseen. And if you like our version, you need to go on our Facebook page that's run by Clayton and look at the Jack Star video that was put together, that Clinton put it together out of the old VHS tapes of mine that he was digitizing. And it's got the original Destroy Them All on it. I really love it. I like ours too, but man, I love Jack's. And y'all need to give that a listen if you never have. Dylan Gunner Snipe says he's happy. He said he's glad. I changed it to happy, but he's glad to be able to catch Break On Through Live. Well, Dylan, we're glad to have you, brother. You hear me? So, and Dylan Smith's sitting there waving at me and laughing at me and all kind of stuff. All right, y'all. Man, I'm glad everybody's here having a good time. Going to have a funky good time. But man, I think the thing people like most about Jack Star and his appearance on Eat More Possum is when he does the bit between him and little boy with the puppy. Even puppy knows who Anti. Jack Star, Jack Star. Everyone thinks that's me. It's not. Jack did both voices. Have you heard Ant? Do you know Ant? Ant who? Antiseen, Antiseen. That is some classic gold. Man, Jack and us had some plans that never came to be. You know how it is. You think you're you think you got all the time in the world, and then you realize you had nowhere close to all the time in the world. And so the future, there were not many, if any, future Jack Star projects. But we went and visited Jack's mom when we went down to Dylan after he died. After we went down to Dylan, I'm looking at two Dylans talking here. We went down to Dallas and visited Jack's mom, and went to Jack's grave and all that. Man, one time he played with us. Like he came on stage and played Haunted House with us. That's also on our YouTube channel, right, Clinton? You go to our YouTube channel and you look up Jack Star, man. We got some stuff on there. Jack was a very unique and gifted individual, and I loved him and I miss him. And if you do not know about him, you need to change that. That's one of the things you got to change about yourself today. Man, I don't know nothing about Jack Star. And then tomorrow, it's like, man, I know everything there is to know about Jack. That's what you need to do. Now, I told you we were going to be talking about Scott Savage. But, like I told you, Scott's been around from the beginning at this point. I think Scott stuck around the Antiseen machine until around 95, 96, something like that. But even he and I reconnected. Henceforth, why most of the stuff on Long Hair Weirdo Records is Scott Savage themed. And there's going to be a new one coming out, man. I got a lot of material from the original band, but basically laid the groundwork to be the Streets. And all they had to do was change a few members, and then they became the Streets. And Scott plays harmonica on 2 songs on Any More Possum. I've aged 20 years and 5 and Shitting in High Cotton. And another Streets connection is recorded at the home of Jeff Murdoch, bass player for the Streets. Jeff was also the engineer. We didn't really have producers back then. Barry's our producer now. Clayton Zilla asked, were the Streets before Adam Shame? Here's how it went. It was Memento Mori. Then Radio Reach. Then the Streets. Then Adam Shame. Scott did some stuff on his own after Adam Shame, which I will talk about that in another episode. We'll do a whole Scott Savage crash course. You know what I may even try to do? I may even try to show all the releases, play some samples for you. How would that be? That would be good. I'll get Clinton Zilla to insert photos and stuff in the YouTube version of this, not this episode, but that episode of Break On Through. I don't have anything for you to insert for this one, Clinton. And last but not least, the late, great Cosmic Commander of Wrestling, whom we met in 91 or 2 when we were out on the West Coast in San Francisco. And another one of them partnerships that as soon as we were introduced, it was like magnet. But you know, with Cosmo, man, we stayed up all night that first night just talking about ideas. You know, like we just met and we're already doing ideas of what we can do. But one of the things, like that was probably the first time he introduced us out there in San Francisco. But then we wanted to repeat that when we played at Maxwell's in Hoboken. And the original Cosmo intro that was on the original Eat More Possum and will be on the one coming out next week was recorded at Maxwell's in Hoboken, New Jersey. And Cosmo became a part of the Antiseen visual all the way up until just recently when we did False Count Anywhere. And another one, like Scott, like Jack, love these fellas. Miss them greatly. But in another section of the question that my source asked, he asked if there were any leftovers from these recording sessions. Man, back then, man, we wrote an album and we said, okay, these 12 songs are the album. We practiced them like crazy. And when we went to record, man, there was not a lot of dilly-dallying around, man, because we were watching the clock. You were paying by the hour back then. It ain't like now where we can just go and just leisurely record when we want to and take a break and try some different ones. Nah, we went if we were ready to record Eat More Possum, that's what we did. And that was the case. There was nothing left over when we recorded that. And man, there's not even any alternate versions. Like if we didn't like one version, it would, because we were also looking at the cost of tape too. So it's like roll over that and record over it and get something else. So, but man, the Eat More Possum lineup, considered by most to be the classic lineup. Some might argue that it was the Blood of Freaks lineup. But I don't care what you argue about. Eat More Possum lineup was one of my favorites. It's kind of hard to think where your mindset's at back then when you got a new mindset, but I just remember being in a car with Tom and Greg and us just riding along, probably listening to some old soul music, and I said, you know, this right here is 3/4 of the most volatile lineup we had. They were like, but I love those days. I love those times. I'm glad I don't have to go back and repeat them. But man, I hope you will all enjoy the newly remastered Eat More Possum. Next week, you can get it right here. Monday night. Now, remember I told you I'm going to have them in hand Thursday. I'm not going to tell you what to do with that information. I'm not going to tell you what to do with that information. But otherwise, y'all be here Monday night. Next Monday with us. Right here. For a live version of Eat More Possum. Performed exclusively for you. The Break On Through viewer and the Antiseen fans worldwide. If it wasn't for y'all, this thing wouldn't be seeing its umpteenth reissue. Dylan Guttersnipe saying he's got his first Eat More Possum CD from 30 years ago. And one of his favorite Antiseen albums. Well, Dylan, I urge you to grab this new version of EMP, because it's going to be like you're hearing it for the first time. And I know that is the most cliche thing to say that a band can say about a release of an old version of a title. But I'm telling you, man, it's the truth. And I got the guys in the band that can back that up. Because, you know, Walt and Malcolm, before they became members, they were fans. And for the most part, I think they still are. But even they celebrated this new version as the way it's got to be. And the way it is. The Jeff Dahl original mix, the Jeff Dahl original mastering. And if y'all don't know who Jeff Dahl is, well, that's part 2 of your assignment. Not only you got to learn your ins and outs of Jack Starr, well, you got to also know some Jeff Dahl. But I think most everybody on here knows who Jeff Dahl is. Well, everybody, it's time for me to sign off and get on down the road. And when they say down the road, I mean in there on the couch. I'm going there with my jar of lemons that I added a little water to. And don't forget about them shows now. Start making your plans, because those ones here in March, they're coming up. Like, I think we got 3 weeks before the first one. So let's make it happen. You hear me? Thanks to everybody for tuning in tonight. And I'm telling you what, I think with my new source of questions, and man, I want y'all to all send questions, man. You all got questions, just send them. I will compile a big thing. Man, we'll go back to doing Break On Through weekly. If I got stuff to talk about, if I'm just sitting here doing, infomercials, man, that wasn't no fun for y'all, and it sure wasn't no fun for me. But come on, let's get it together. Let's do it. And man, don't forget to get your copy of Clayton and Wensil, Songs from Home on vinyl. The Hymnal Burgundy. Man, it's low. If you want one, you best get it soon, because once it's gone, let me tell you something, it's gone. You can dig that, I know. Come on, y'all. Let's have a good time Monday night. And if it ends up being a little later than 7, it's because of working out any glitches we may have. But y'all go ahead and keep watching the page at 7 o'clock, because I guarantee you, either right on the head or just a few minutes down the road, it's coming. And you are going to enjoy it, and we are going to have a funky good time, man. Y'all have a great week. Yeah, I'm talking to you on Monday now. I'll go ahead and tell you, have a great week. And I want you to have an even better weekend, because I love you. Because God loves you. And we just want everybody to have a wonderful life. Don't let what you hear all over social media, don't let what you hear all over the news and the TV, don't let all that bring you down, man. That's only one little part of life. Life is big. You dig? Take care, y'all. Thank you.